Hi, everybody. I'm continuing this little series about talking about the transformations that we go through with our spiritual path and the different energies and the different ways that we view the world. Because to me, it's kind of interesting to talk about it because I see it so much with the people around me on their spiritual journey. And so it's really nice to be aware of what's actually happening and how the growth on a spiritual path can take on so many different flavors. Just walked up a hill, but isn't it beautiful behind me? So it's well worth it. So I started off by talking about how you transform. There's a growth period of transformation and how that can actually feel like a bit messy, like the realizations that things haven't always been right. There might be these shocks of seeing how violent we've been or mean or unconscious over our life, how we've hurt people or done stupid things. I think everyone can say that. And so this idea of transformation can actually be letting go of the old and embracing the new, which isn't always easy. And even when, let's look at even like exercise, the action of transformation can look like pain. Like the muscles have to grow in a different way, as we start going to the gym or doing yoga. So there's actually, it could be a bit of muscle pain for a couple of days before our body has changed or is changing in the way that it can adapt, and then we can move on in the direction that we're going in. So in our own spiritual practice, that pain or that transformation can look like tears or realizations. But what happens then is we kind of come back to this reset. We come back to this place where we're now ready to go on our journey. And in the email I talked, in the video that I talked about that, I talked about kind of like coming back to the innocence and the purity of starting fresh. And even if we think about exercise, the pain passes and then suddenly we're capable, we're moving now in the new direction. The body's listening and able to handle this new exercise or this new way. So we're creating this new habit. Fascinating. And then as that happens, spiritually, we start to experience the beauty outside. As we start to look around us with these new eyes or this new vision, everything starts to look different. We can be present. We've let go of our judgments and our old way of being, of feeling perhaps angry with the world or judging the world. And now we can actually be present and see the beauty. In a physical sense, now we're starting to be able to maintain. We're starting to be able to go to the gym. We want to go to the gym. It's beautiful to go to the gym. We're maybe seeing the changes in our body and we're losing weight. We're creating muscle. So perhaps we're seeing the beauty there. We're excited for the direction we're going in. And often what happens in a spiritual sense is we start to become calmer. It's like our attention suddenly starts to go inward and we're not so flighty. We're not so bouncing all over the place and trying to grab people's attention and be popular or be heard. Suddenly it's not so important to be this me trying to find her way or his way in the world. So we actually start to become calmer within ourselves. We're starting to recognize that we don't need to force ourselves upon the world to be recognized. And in an exercise point of view, that means that perhaps we are starting to become at one with our practice. We're starting to become our muscles and our new way of aligning is handling the new strength. The muscles have been built. It's now a powerful practice. We're not straining anymore. We just are in the practice of, lifting weights or doing yoga. So this quietness starts to happen. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because when we are on a spiritual journey and we start to enter this quiet place and we become almost detached from the craziness of the world or the craziness of our mind, it can feel a bit strange. It can feel like we've changed and we don't fit in. It might feel like we're a bit lost a little bit because we're not entertained by the old stories and the old dramas. And so there's this process of kind of becoming quiet. And from a positive point of view, it's very calming. And you can just watch what's going on around you and just awe and wonder, right? There's nothing to fix, there's nothing wrong, but it's like, geez, these people are full on busy or full on in their story or full on, in gossip or something. And your choice now is not to be involved in that, not to judge it, but just to step back a bit. The negative side of that is when you doubt it or question it. You might feel removed. You might feel out of place. You might feel that no one understands you. You might feel disconnected a little bit because they're still in the old patterns and old conversations, and you're just watching it. It's actually a beautiful part of growth, because what you're doing is realizing that that busyness and that gossipy or that neediness isn't necessary for you. And as you learn to realize what you're choosing to do is vitally important, you actually realize that it's all okay. And that's my message for today, that it's all okay.